Good afternoon, and we are back. I am Shawnee, and welcome to the Shawnee View, designed for happy life, engineered to last. The purpose of my podcast is to exemplify the dreams and goals and how to achieve them through self motivation and inspiration from others. There's a saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime.
What's up? Good to be here. Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for the invite, Shawnee.
Right. Thank you for coming out here and all this traffic.
I appreciate it. It was well worth it. I like what y'all doing over here,
Yeah.
especially you. And this is a nice setup. I'm glad to be here. So thank you.
Right.
All right. So
Would you
for
like
those-
to tell us who you are?
yeah, I tell them. First off, my name is Tyrell Plair. I am the CEO of Playtime Multimedia and Publishing and a author. This is
Author,
The
yeah.
company. right here, Playtime Multimedia and Publishing. So I am a writer and an author. I oversee other people's careers, and I also teach literacy around the world community. That's our motto: promote literacy one community at a time. So that's what I like to do.
Okay. We want people to read. We need
I
to
want
read
people to
more.
read. I want people to be literate about a lot of different things, not just write. Because being literate, it doesn't come with just reading a book. You can be, you can have a son and you don't know how to work on a car, but your next door neighbor do. And as you know, your son interested in to send him over there. That's becoming literate in learning how to operate a car and work on
Yeah.
it. You know,
Yeah.
change the tire. So it's literate. So many different areas
Okay.
become literate in. Yeah.
Okay. Fluent life.
Yes.
Okay. So we are going to talk about you being a motivational speaker. So you
Yes.
go different places and speak.
Yes, I go a lot of different places and speak, and the thing is, I can speak to kids from. I have spoken to kids from ages like 5 and all the way up
Oh,
into
them little
adults
kids.
that's older. So the conversation is very different, and I could relate to a lot of. You know, I
Okay.
have a degree in applied psychology, which is a
Okay.
basis for society issues from age groups from childhood to
Right.
adults. So I know a lot of different things and how to communicate and articulate. So it kind of
Okay.
works well
Okay.
with what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
It does. So I know that you're from Chicago.
Yes, I'm born in Chicago. Left there when I was about 9 or 10 years old and moved to Pensacola, Florida. And so
From Chicago to Florida.
it was a
What
big.
does that change? Like, what's the difference?
When I tell you winter and summer,
yeah.
that's what it was. So Chicago is real raw. And born in the 70s, you could tell. See the
Oh,
little
you
girl
a
right here.
70s baby.
70s baby. So born in the 70s, right? Playing in the alleyways and different things like that, seeing a lot of violence at a young age and different things like that. When you go to Florida, it was really like green grass, everybody having fun, doing their thing. It was more like that. So
Okay.
we had fun in a sense when we first got down there, but we also seen that remember where we came from.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that was the thing that we kind of like introduced to the area we was down there, like that
Right.
city life, because it's nothing like it. People can say it is, but the South and the city, they two different animals.
Yeah,
very different.
completely. You got the Midwest and then the South.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. My family is from Chicago.
Oh, so
I'm
you
not
know.
from Chicago, but my family
Yeah.
is from Chicago.
Yeah, you know, it's different in the sense that, you know, down there, if someone argue, because we've seen it, you know, someone argue, it's results right then. You know, when we got
Yeah.
to Florida at a certain age, we seen the chest bumps, and we had never seen that before. You know,
Oh.
people bumping chests and pushing each
Yeah.
other before they actually throw hands. And you know, by that
Right.
time in Chicago, you out of here.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the reality of it. You was out of here, seen it at 5.
But Chicago did change like over time. Like,
It's a nice city to live in at certain parts. It changed, but it's like every other area. You know, you have your educated people. You have your people
Yeah.
want to do a lot of different things, and some of them, you know, I'm gonna say forced to be in some of these positions. It's just what you do with it. Like at a certain amount of time, it's time to transition, change. If you got to do something for a certain amount of time, you know,
yeah.
do it, and then transition out of it. And that's where we
Keep
get stuck
moving.
at. I was a victim of that, so I
Yeah.
can't just sit there and say what someone should stop doing because I
Right.
overdid certain things and end up
Right.
paying for it. So yeah,
Right.
so when I talk about being literate, that's one of the things I talk about, knowing when to
Okay.
becoming literate on when to stop, different laws, what you doing in your area, in your
Mm.
profession.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you got into it?
To
Like, how
writing,
did you get into teaching literacy to others? Is because of your background, your upbringing? Like, what?
more so I could say more so my upbringing. My auntie, Teresa, she was very much into reading, and I got a
Oh,
picture when I'm
auntie.
like 5 years old in Chicago. I got a big old book. My cousin, she's in the building. She grew up with me there. We all lived in the same house, and so I had a big old book. I don't even know what it was, but I was reading it, and I took
Okay.
an interest in reading early. And she used to have all these romantic Daniel Steele novels and all this stuff like that. So I think I got into it, and I had wordplay. Being a
Okay.
Sagittarius, I used to like
Oh,
rapping when I
you a
was young.
Sagittarius?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sad. So
I
that
can
plays
see
a part
that.
into being into like the psychological things and wanting to
Okay.
read and study and learn stuff.
Right.
So I used to rap. Like I used to try
You
and rap. I
used
used to write a
to
lot of
be in
poetry.
ciphers and stuff. Like,
I ain't gonna say no cipher because my stuff was on some real like you couldn't
what was
really.
you? What was you?
I was on,
What
if
you
you know how
saying?
like BG or something like that.
BG
That's the
from
closest.
Louisiana?
Yeah, that's the closest thing I could say to how I was on. I was on Mondays and whatever, and then I was a romantic dude. You know what I'm saying? So I used to write poetry. And
Okay.
like somebody might be like, "Hey man, I need something to get my girl. They finna get it." So I might
Right.
write a poem for them and to get to them, and so that was my thing. I excelled in those areas. Like in
Right.
school, regular classes didn't really get to me. I took reading 3, I took English, high English
Okay.
classes, writing class and stuff like that. Even though I was missing a lot of days at school, them is the classes that I would go to.
Right.
So
Okay. And you said that you have a twin.
I do. I have a twin, and shout out to my brother, man, Tyrell Plair. That's the
Hey,
realest cat that
brother.
I know, realest dude I know. We just, and I'm glad you said that because I just completed a book for people that's watching, especially from my city, that been wanting to hear the story of the '90s Pensacola era is coming. I just completed. Me and my brother just finished that Illusions, and it'll be out soon. So I'm glad you asked me that question.
Illusions.
And I used
Is
to always
that?
say,
No,
yeah,
that's
this is a
not
very
that book.
this is actually Stolen Innocence. This is the anniversary. So check this out too. Stolen Innocence on Playtime Multimedia Publishing. You can find it in Barnes and Nobles everywhere. Say everywhere for real, for real. We are a real publishing company, y'all. So go get this everywhere. But back to Illusions. So this Illusions is actually the first book that I wrote before I
Okay.
wrote anything, and I have several books. I have like 6 books that I written or
Okay.
co-written, and then I ghost wrote a few books. But Illusion was the first book that I wrote because
Okay.
it's based off the life that me and my brother and a lot of other people live coming from that Florida lifestyle. So
Okay.
it's a want for that for people that know me that really support me because I'll never say fans, but people that support me and my work and my
Okay.
company. That's what they want to see
Right.
because it was a real area that changed my life that really transitioned me to what I want to do now because I knew I could stay in the lane I was in. Like I said, you're gonna
Okay.
do things for a certain time. So that's
So you had a mindset change.
man, a real mindset. It's a shift. And my great uncle, Uncle Duke, was that shift, man. When he came and talked to me. I ain't gonna say what he talked to me, but he came and talked to me, and he said, "Don't continue to be that same person when you're done. Don't do that." And he was
Yeah.
old. He was
Yeah.
sick. He was old. And when he told me that, I was like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna chill. We're gonna go
I'ma be
fishing.
me.
We're gonna be like this. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do it." But I ain't had no plan. You know what I'm saying? And you got to practice
There
like
you
you
go
play.
again.
And
If
that's what a
you
lot of people
fail
don't
to
do.
plan, then you plan to fail.
Exactly.
Always. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
And so I had to really get onto that because I was in an environment where I was around a lot of people that was cool with me, and that could
Right.
be bad. You got to shift that environment mindset, get away from
Yeah.
people that have you
So
comfortable.
how did you do it? Like, how did you shift your mindset?
I shift my mindset in a conversation one day, really sitting around the homies and talking and be like, "Hey man, sometimes you gotta throw something out there to see really who you got around you." And be like, "Hey man, I'm finna sign up for this class or I'm finna go do this."
Yeah.
And see their reaction. And sometimes if they supportive, then doing your part and doing your dogs, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And if they like, what?
Right.
Like this ain't good for you. Like you don't
Right.
like this.
Yeah.
But real talk, my partners, they was real supportive of that. Ski, Newkirk, they know what I'm talking about, where we was at when we had this conversation. So shout out to them boys there, man. And it was a
Them
real changer.
boys.
Yeah, it was a real
Okay.
game changer for me and my mindset.
Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. If you having certain conversations with certain people, then it will motivate you to do better, or not necessarily even do better, but just try different things. Like, you want to grow. You don't want to just stay in the same place or be stagnant all your life.
That's exactly a good thing. That's so, like you say, far as literacy goes. When I was young, coming up, seeing people go to work in my community, in my neighborhood, because I come from a neighborhood where you didn't see people dressed up in business suit. You see people getting to work, going up and to paint, or come back, they got cement on their hands. They got all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a goal of ours. You know what I'm saying? Being young, we looking at them like, I don't want to come home dirty. I don't want to do that. So it's a shift in mindset. But when you get outside the environment, you see that there's other jobs that black men do, other things that we do. They work in libraries, they teach, they do all stuff like that. So to a certain extent, we do become a product of our environment. You could change that, but you had to show people different. And back then, we didn't have social media. We have all that stuff to see. You seeing right there what you see coming home. He coming home. He mad that he had to work all these extra hours and hardly making no money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And back then, the best jobs for women was limited too. So imagine what the mothers was making. So it was a lot of bad and offset households.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dysfunctional households.
To say the least.
In Chicago.
To say the least. We had a good fluid household in Chicago. I love that because we stayed on the lower level in the basement. It was fixed up, me and my twin. And then my cousins, they stayed up top, but we would all come together and meet in the back, in the alley, and do our thing. Because we had an abandoned school bus back there. So that was like...
that was the hangout spot.
Oh, man. That was our own house. We had our own little house back there doing our thing. And, there's somebody to come in it. Like, you gotta
you better not come in my bus.
Yeah, it was a nice little size, mid-sized bus, not no special ed bus or nothing like that, but it was a bus that you could have fun and chill on. Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
No.
So you do a lot of speaking engagements. You are a published author. You teach literacy. And you have a degree in it's not applied psychology. What is?
I do.
It's applied psychology. Okay. Oh, look
and
at
an
me.
MFA.
Okay. Wait, and you what?
MFA, Master
Oh,
of Fine
MFA.
Arts.
Okay.
Yeah, Master of Fine Arts.
Okay.
That's in creative writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I do know that when we first met, you were saying that you were finishing up or you're still working on the MFA.
Yes. So the MFA, I actually graduate. I'll be finishing in December.
Okay.
And graduate in February because you had to put together a thesis, which is a completed novel, young adult novel, which is that I'm working on. It's already complete.
Yeah.
And you had to submit that to the majors. You submit that to
Ooh.
3 different major companies and like 5 literary agents. So you automatically gonna get seen. Even though I'm a publishing company, it's kind of good to do that because if someone likes and picks up this book, it means a merger, a partnership, a distribution. And that's the main thing you want to try and get as a publisher, especially a black-owned publishing company. Distribution is very expensive.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of distribution going around. So how would you like to tell everybody how we met?
Yeah, so how we met. This is Shawnee. So this is her show. So I thank y'all for letting me go here. But the thing how we met, we was going to an event. It was a networking content creators event, and I happened to see Shawnee and her crew. I can say crew because Divine Music, Calibo, Seabear, Jazz, Forever Jazz, all this was out there, and they just happened to be shooting a skit. But they was kind of, and I can't say nothing wrong. I can say it now because we real cool. It looked like they know what they was doing. So me being the person I am was like, hey, y'all need help. I brought my camera, I brought my stabilizer and stuff like that.
Right, because I remember they was like, oh, he going to go get the stabilizer. Because I'm like, what's taking so long? Let's go on in and shoot this. And they was like, he went to get the stabilizer. I was like, who is he? And what's the stabilizer? Like, what's going on?
Right.
Then he came back and he hooked us up with
Yeah.
Good footage.
Yeah, and see the thing about it is the stabilizer gave us different angles to hold,
Yeah,
but
I know what
I
it
went
is
I wanted to
now.
help them before I even knew their name. So when I came back, that's when we introduced ourselves and started doing different things and kind of like gave them some direction, which they already had, but just enhanced what they was doing and made it more better. And
Yeah.
today, that's like one of the best skits that we didn't because we didn't since we didn't met we didn't film a lot of different things together.
Yeah.
But that's one of the best and highest viewed ones that we didn't did. So
Yeah.
shout out to y'all. That spontaneous meeting was real dope.
Yeah, it was definitely spontaneous. But was it really spontaneous or was it intentional because we were at a content creation networking event?
Hey, that's exactly what was
And
supposed to happen. But we hadn't
exactly.
even made it to the doors. So that
No,
was
I
another
think
crazy
you
thing.
didn't make it to the
I hadn't
doors
even
yet
made it
because we
inside.
had been in there for a while.
So
We
I was
did a whole
walking.
bunch of stuff.
I was coming. I had just got out my car.
Okay.
As far as y'all getting ready to walk in the
Okay.
entrance. So to me, it was really spontaneous because, like I said, I haven't even went and spoke to my guy who really organized it. That I was going to meet. He, the one who organized it. I was going to
Oh,
talk to him, one
wow.
of the organizers. But I haven't even went to speak to him, and I saw y'all and started helping y'all
Wow.
before I said something to him. So, like I
Right.
said, it was spontaneous, but it was a good look, and we hear today
Okay.
from it.
Right. He is a dope videographer.
Thank
If
you.
you
I
want
appreciate
to
it.
if you want to see some of his work, just come to my I'm just playing.
Yeah, go to her page.
You
Go
can
to her
find it
page.
on IG. I do want to actually transition our skits into like a web series or
Oh, yeah.
something. I know that we did mention it, but we haven't acted on it yet. I'm into
Yeah.
action right now.
Yeah, so what right here we could go ahead and commit to that right here because we just said out here had a verbal commitment to do some things that we're gonna put in the work. Me, Calibo, and yourself, C-Bell. You just interviewed. He definitely got to be in there. I could name the people because once I said my cousin Ebony, Duchess. And
Yeah, and
my
Miss
four-way tray.
Jazz
So being in
and
this being in this
four-way.
underground world, meeting y'all put me into the. So let me tell y'all this right here. this world is in Atlanta is different. You can get into the film industry several different ways. You can do it
Yeah.
directly. You can do what I'm doing with my books and all stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you're gonna end up right back here with the funny people, the comedians, the people that's about their business. And so
That is true.
That was the chance me that I was blessed to have to meet people that's gonna be on the fast track to any and every angle of the film and industry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some good advice.
Yeah. So you gotta learn how to network, man, and take advantage of it. And I'm glad that we did that and followed through.
Definitely. I'm very much into networking. Like, that's the only way that you can really get to where you're trying to go. You have to know how to communicate. You can't just like be in a corner somewhere and then upset with the world because nobody's coming to talk to
Right.
you. Like, you gotta get out there and talk.
And let me tell you another thing from dealing with Shawnee and the crew that we had. We had a name. I forgot the name that we had came up with when we was
Didn't we
filming.
come up with?
We
do
had
y'all
something. You
remember?
remember we had something that we filmed. But either way it goes, right? One of the main things is tell people your shortcomings. I didn't know how to film real good, but at the time I was dealing with Shawnee, editing wasn't my forte. I didn't have time for it. I like to write. I write a lot of different things, books. I ghostwrite, but she know how to edit. And so when you
Yeah.
come together with people, it's okay to say your shortcoming.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
definitely.
Because somebody
What?
can pick that up and then help you and go from there, and y'all can make a great team
Right.
and collab. It ain't always about money. It's always about what you can bring, somebody else can bring, and then you can
Yeah.
make something beautiful with it. And that's what I like
Right.
to do.
Right.
So that's another literacy note that I try and bring.
Yeah, 'cause I do feel like that. That's part of the reason that I do the Shawnee View is if I win, then you win. Like everybody is working together.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And then like you said, if I win, you win. It's you got to maintain that mentality.
yeah.
Because when I was outside, I was talking to Calibo, and we was talking about a project that we was having ideas about, and we was talking about two strong personalities having ideas and
Yeah.
having certain things. You got to be able to still want to articulate, because I'm very, very assertive. I can't be passive aggressive. It's just not
Right.
in my DNA. But I'm also willing to listen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And see what somebody bringing to the table, the idea that they got, and then we can merge. And so
Right.
that's what I like.
Right. Because then you may have another person that's more calm and
Hmm.
chill, and
Hmm.
then they can help tie
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
together. So
I have a special skill that I say that
what's
I
that?
like to bring. I could bring the best out of somebody. Like
Mm-hmm.
whether I'm directing them in
Mm-hmm.
acting, whether I'm coaching them in basketball, whatever it is. Cause I like that's what my psychology basis is. I
Mm-hmm.
relate to that person. I don't use a
Okay.
hands-on approach. Everybody can't be
Okay.
coached the same. Everybody can't
Yeah.
be taught the same. You know, you might can. Yeah, this person might need you to yell at them or fuss at them,
Right.
but this person right here might need you to come at them with care and empathy. So those are things that I can really understand and articulate. That's what made me kind of like be able to vibe and move through the industry without compromising the person I am. Because that's one
Yeah.
thing I never do, change who I am to be get where I'm trying to go.
Yeah. You have to be mindful in communication because, like you said, everybody's not the same. So you can't talk to this person the same way that you may talk to that
Right.
person. Just be more personable, I guess.
Yeah, more personable, and we don't know where someone came from. You know,
Yeah.
like you asking me because we're on the interview. You from Chicago? That's the first thought. They say, okay, he come from an environment, and he come from the South Side of Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and so I can imagine what he's seen as a kid
Right.
growing up. Especially when I say who my pops, where the life he came from. I didn't say it just then, but
Right.
where my pops came from, my uncles now. So
Mm-hmm.
now that gives you a glimpse of who I am. It's a
Right.
basis, you know.
Yeah.
And there's other things that can really tell you who I am. I
Mm-hmm.
told you my sign. That's a basis for
Yeah.
how he thinks as a sage
Mm-hmm.
or how it goes. So you can learn
That's the
somebody real quick.
literacy.
Yeah, you can learn somebody kind of like real quick and then get a basis for them and not overstep your boundaries or their boundaries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, with them. And it's just about learning. See, that's the
Yeah.
literacy thing again.
It is. It is
Yeah,
also just knowing how to socialize.
yeah.
Like psychology is a big part of knowing how to
Yes,
socialize.
it is. It's having the cognitive skills to understand someone else,
Mm-hmm.
and even if they're wrong, that's one thing I
Yeah.
try and do. You can see, and you say, "Man, they didn't did this, they didn't did this, and they doing this," but you got to
Right.
understand the where they coming from, or
Yeah.
look what happened to them, so you can
Mm-hmm.
understand that. Yeah, that's
Like
wrong
what's
what they
their
did with
that
that, but
what is
that's
their
wrong.
perspective?
Yeah, is you gonna change them or help or whatever it is? Because there's so many different elements to that, but
Yeah.
that's one of the main things of understanding somebody else walk.
Right.
You can't judge.
No.
Set it from the beginning of time.
Yeah, you can't be judgmental. Like you said, you don't know what walk of life this person came from. You don't know what they just went through 5 minutes ago before
Exactly.
they came and saw
It's
you. So
exactly,
you
exactly.
got to be patient and just have that grace for other people.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying you got to just be
Accept
a
what they give out.
doormat.
Yeah. Can't
I'm
just
not
accept what they
saying-
dishing out, you know.
Right.
Cause one thing about me, I will make the great escape.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's messing with my peace or not
Yeah.
conducive to me, because I want the best for I ain't gonna say almost. I want the best for everybody I come in contact with.
Right.
If I know you, because I don't know what some people got going on. I want the best for them, but I
Right.
want the best for you. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And if I'm in the way of that, especially whether it's relationship, friendship, or job, because I done left all kinds of environments because
Yeah.
it wasn't conducive for me, and not only for me, it wasn't conducive for the person that I was around. They was
Right.
uncomfortable because they kept making problems with me. So apparently, it's on the problem. I will quickly remove myself from that.
I feel you on that. And then you don't want to be that common denominator every time.
Nah,
Like,
you don't.
what's
But
the mindset? Like, what are you doing?
right, and sometimes as you don't want to do that, and then you do recognize, like I want a person that recognize what that I can't be the problem at this. I'm trying to help somebody that don't need it or don't want it. So
Ooh,
I
yeah,
am the
don't
problem.
force
Yeah,
the-
so
do
I am
not
the problem.
force
Yeah,
the
don't
help.
force it. I had that going on. I done had that go on in business, relationship, family, and all that stuff, and trying to
Yeah.
be there or do certain things because it's not always financial. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That'd be the first thing people jump for. You taking care of looking out for somebody
Right.
and they not grateful for it. No. You
Yeah.
could be talking to somebody in a difficult situation, being to coach them through it. As soon as they get through it, they back the same way or
Yeah.
acting like you wasn't that person that helped them get through
Right.
it. And so you don't want a hand clap or whatever it is,
Yeah.
but words of affirmation or the
You want that,
acknowledgement or you might
appreciation.
need them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And they see it and they just don't care. But one thing about everybody don't know the words to say, so I wouldn't take advice from everybody.
Right.
Because, you know, that might not be their forte. So that's why I say it comes into understanding who you're dealing with, too.
Yeah, that is very true.
Right.
Well, Mr. Plair, It has been a
I
pleasure
love it.
of
Thank you.
having you here on the
Yeah.
Shawnee View.
Y'all go get this book. It matches the background.
He has it all. He does it all.
I
So,
appreciate the
how
compliment.
can we find you on social media? Or
So on social media, I would prefer you go to my company, Playtime Multimedia and Publishing. You can see that in Zoom and Playtime Multimedia and Publishing all across the board. From there, you will see my face, Tyrell Plair. I'm the CEO of the company, author, and not to mention, I will be looking for some writers soon. I will be taking author submissions, and you will have to do it professionally. So if you don't know how to submit work, just Google it. It's simple. Don't think just because I am an African American publisher that I'm just gonna take you sending an email to it. No, do it the right way, and I will look at it and we'll try and take you to the next level. So, shout out to everybody
all right,
that's rocking with Playtime.
requirements and standards.
Yeah, Elizabeth James Allen. Shout out to my team at Playtime Multimedia Publishing, Bree, my editor, everybody over there. Thank y'all, and I appreciate this time that you gave me, Shawnee. This platform.
Yeah,
We're gonna do this again.
anytime. So, good night.